You're listening to The Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles. Here's Eddie Garcia.
In Game 4 of the World Series, the Yankees stay alive with an 11-4 win over the Dodgers. New York's Anthony Volpe hit a grand slam home run, and Gleyber Torres added a 3-run shot. Aaron Judge had his first RBI of the series as well. New York's bullpen also got it done after their starter, Luis Hill, went 4 innings and allowed 4 runs. The bullpen went 5 innings, allowed no runs, and just 1 hit. Yankees stay alive, but the Dodgers still lead the series 3-1 Game 5 tonight in the Bronx. In NBA action, the Nuggets beat the Nets 144-139 in overtime. Nikola Jokic, a triple-double for Denver, 29 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. Mavericks over the Timberwolves 120-114 in a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals. Kyrie Irving, 35 points for Dallas. NHL Capitals beat the Rangers 5-3. Washington star Alexander Ovechkin had 2 goals, numbers 856 and 857 on his career. He's now 38 away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't think it biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Roll. Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. We are live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC. We got a great show lined up for you today, and we want to get things rolling right now. The playbook for today is, Wild Card Wednesday. You can do whatever you need to do to get things going right here. And all we're asking you to do is join us with on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline at 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. That's the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline. Give us a call, or if you tuned in on social, on the live stream, just simply post your comments, your thoughts, and we'd love to hear from you. We'll add that to the conversation. And let me see what else we got lined up for you. We're looking at the goal/emphasis of bye week, and we can talk to you there. Also, we'll look at grading Bama. It's time. We were going to do a mid-season grade. We really didn't do that. So we'll give a grade for Alabama. We'll look at the different positions, maybe grade the coaches as well. And then we'll also look at Tide LSU getting a kickoff, night kickoff. Lane Kiffin having a problem with that, saying it's sad, it's unfortunate that Alabama and LSU got the night kickoff. That brings me to a really interesting topic. we're going to, everybody, there were still people when we were struggling, Alabama was struggling. There were people who were wanting Lane Kiffin. Well, we should have hired Lane Kiffin. Bring Lane Kiffin. And this was supposed to be Lane Kiffin's team. What's Lane Kiffin's record? Who has he lost to? Well, we can talk about that as well. Everybody, SEC title, / playoffs. One is more realistic than the other for the Crimson Tide, but they need to close out with a strong November. So we'll have all of those conversations as well as anything that may be stirring, in you. Give us a call once again on the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions hotline at 205-342-9904. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Chase, have we been able to get Xavier?
I am still trying, but I'm going to keep going for you, Martin.
Yeah, I can call him and get him on. He just needs to answer the phone. All right. But listen, while we're trying to get Xavier in, I invite you to go ahead and get in on the conversation. While we're waiting before we get into any new topics, I'm going to circle back on a topic from earlier this week, and that was on this officiating. What do you think about when you go back and look? I like I said, I didn't get to see the game live, so I missed a couple of things this morning. I mean, that we had talked about, so I had to go back and look at it. And 2 of Alabama's 15-yard penalties were after such bad officiating. I mean, it was after 2 really, really bad calls. 2 really bad calls. One was we broke it down a little bit yesterday on LT Overton's personal foul, late hit, no one doing it. And to me, what was shocking to me was the fact that we had watched the week before that, was it the week before Georgia, Texas? We had watched these officials get together and actually reverse a judgment call. It was interesting. We saw them get together, on a judgment call and change it against Georgia and Texas, a call that I have never seen happen before. I've never seen let me say it this way. I've never seen a pass interference reverse. I have, but I've never seen one reviewed and reversed. Even though there was not an official review on that pass interference against Georgia, they reviewed that play because they saw what happened on the big screen, and then they had the whole trash incident and all that, and they reversed it. Why couldn't those officials get together, talk about it, and just say, hey, we made a mistake. We made a mistake. We cannot penalize them because the whistle was not loud and clear. It was hesitant or whatever. And the only reason the quarterback, in my opinion, I'm not sure it was a whistle. I think the quarterback saw the clock go to 0 and assumed that there was a whistle because he saw the clock go to 0. I mean, that's what I think. And because he saw the clock go to 0, he stopped. And the official also saw the clock go to 0. Therefore, he tried to either blow a whistle or say, well, I should have blew the whistle. And then he then they threw a penalty on it. I mean, Chase X, did you guys see is that the way y'all saw that particular play out?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I saw it. It was a weird sequence, but the only person that stopped playing on that play was the quarterback. So
yeah, and that's why I think. Go ahead.
You know, it was just one of those things. Why was he the only one that stopped?
Because he saw zero. I think. I don't think they blew the whistle.
Neither do I.
So that's one of the penalties, and then of course the K-Law's penalty. What were they looking at to see that to not call that? What in the world could they have been looking at not to see that ball hit that player's foot? I mean, and then with the way all the Alabama guys dove on the ball, let's say they missed it. Okay, so they missed the first one and they didn't blow the whistle, and they circled up, but they didn't change the play. Okay?
Yeah.
And Tim Coggins saying there wasn't a whistle if you watch the refs never wave their arms above their head to stop the clock, right? But on that other one, X, let's say they missed it live. How is it that the people who were in the booth didn't review that? Forget the guys on the field, because the whistle on the field is a field judgment, etc. call. Why didn't the officials in New York, wherever Birmingham, NFL is New York, but Birmingham, blow the whistle and buzz down and say, "Hey guys, we need to review that"? They never mentioned it on television.
No, and you heard the commentators say, "Hey, the Bama players acted like that hit the guy," and then not only that, they never showed a review of the kick coming down. They only showed it after it hit the ground.
Yeah, it's so stuff like that just bothers me. Anyway, just another frustrating thing that goes against Bama. So let's go ahead and get J-Rob before we get to break here. J-Rob, you're in with Martin and Xavier on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Doing well.
Oh, doing good.
Hey, I'm getting tired of Alabama not getting. I mean, we don't get the call nowhere, nowhere, even at home. It's like every set of refs does their best to call everything they can against Alabama. Is it me, or we just don't get the benefit of the doubt of any call? That's the way I feel about it everywhere we go, even if at home. Did we not have enough water bottles to change that call on the ref and the passer? Why didn't we flood the field with water bottles on that deal? And they can get calls changed in Texas. Why can't we?
Hey,
I don't understand it.
Hey, here's two things I have never seen at Alabama, J-Rob. Two things I've never seen in Alabama. I've never seen Alabama throw stuff on the field, and I've never seen Alabama rush the field. They say at some point in the early 80s we rushed the field. I've never seen it, and I've never seen, I know this is true, Alabama tear down a goalpost. And that tells you all you need to know about where your program is. I guarantee if they were to go back and do a study on which team has been the losing team when the most goalposts have been torn down.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I've never seen us rush the field or tear the goalpost down. So, but I've seen every time we get beat, the goalposts get torn down just about everywhere. So,
think about this: Tennessee beat us only 2 years ago, and they still tore down the goalpost this year.
Yeah.
After they tore it down 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That shows where your programs are at. But Baton Rouge at night, does that seem to put fear in you guys? It doesn't me. I mean, Alabama seems to play well down in Baton Rouge. You know the old saying, the Tide don't lose in Baton Rouge. So, what do you think about that?
That's one of the topics we're gonna hit a little later, J-Rob. Either today or tomorrow, maybe Friday, when we talk about the time. But just a quick answer, there's no worry from a, advantage or disadvantage standpoint. Alabama's only lost in, since 1969, Alabama's only lost like 3 times, maybe twice, 2 or 3 times. I know from the time I was born in 1970 until after I graduated, Alabama did not lose.
Yeah. I remember some of the.
I think I was 8 or 9 the first time they lost.
So
yeah. So
on that, we got to get ready to get out of here. You got anything else before I let you go?
One thing, I'm with X. The quarterback's the only one I've seen stop and are slowing down during that on that roughing the passer call. It was egregious, and they should have made it about it. Y'all have a great day. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Jay Cohen said, didn't we rush the field after Van Tiffen kick beat Auburn? I'm not sure, Van. I probably wouldn't remember that if it did happen because I was an Auburn guy. So we'll talk about it. I'll see if I can find a clip on the other side. We'll talk about it. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, a very good morning to you and happy hump day, folks. We're looking at Cottondale trouble already this morning on 2059 eastbound at Tuscaloosa Coaling, Highway 11. Watch out for that bender, which is now on the left shoulder and absolutely no delays. As a matter of fact, it's still.
Let's take control of our future. Vote Republican. Paid for by the Tuscaloosa County Republican Party, P.O. Box 2643, Tuscaloosa, Alabama 35403.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go.
Or Town Square Media Tuscaloosa radio websites. Fill out the Advertise Here form. Put the power of Town Square Media to work for your business.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partly sunny today. A small chance of a shower this afternoon or this evening. Most places stay dry. The high today 81, tonight's low 64. Tomorrow a mix of sun and clouds. The chance of a shower in spots tomorrow night. The high 82. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 64 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We're powered by Box Eye Care, live, local, ready to get things rolling. Want to encourage you to join us on February 20th. Go ahead and save the date as we prepare for the Live to Lead conference, the Abundant Mindset. Love to have you go ahead and register, get your organization set up to be a part of that great event. You can check us out, scan the QR code located at the bottom of the screen. And if you're not looking at us on the live screen, you can go to martinhouston.org/live to lead and click and register. Individual tickets are $70. Tables are $400, so that drops the price down to $50 per ticket. You can come as a corporation, or you can bring a group of people together to get your ticket. So that's Live to Lead, the Abundant Mindset, featuring John Maxwell, John Gordon, Malcolm Gladwell, Shante Lowe, Michael Jr. If you go check it out, you can see bios on them once again by following the link. We'd love to get you involved, but at least go ahead and save that date, February 20th, the National Leadership Day. Got this great event coming to Tuscaloosa in West Alabama. X, we were talking a little bit about what's happening around the college football world, specifically about Alabama and the crazy officiating. But let's also we'll go ahead and hit a little bit of this. We'll talk more about it since J-Rob brought it up about the game being at night down in Baton Rouge. And for a long time, we didn't lose down in Baton Rouge for it may have been like 30 years or some crazy number. And CJ Watson saying that LSU beat Saban there, and LSU beat Alabama there when Saban was there, something like that. But either way, it's crazy to think. But at the same time that was happening, we were not having a lot of success at home against them either. So, it's interesting to see. But part of what I wanted to bring up was not just us playing there at night, but the fact that Lane Kiffin has come out and made the fact that they haven't had a night game and at night SEC kickoff game, and it's unfortunate that LSU Alabama got night kickoff over Ole Miss in Georgia. So, what do you think that says about the state of the four programs or the importance of this game?
Georgia's been Georgia the last X amount of years, and they're one of the top programs. But I do believe if Ole Miss had stayed on the track that they started the season on, you possibly could have seen that be the night game. But that's a semi-elimination game because it could affect Georgia's SEC title chances. But Alabama LSU is without a doubt an elimination game now for the playoffs. And so that's what they're looking at. And the biggest SEC game of the week is going to be the night game. It seems to be, from moving forward up under ABC's model.
Yeah, to me it should be. I've never liked the fact that the biggest game was most of the time the 2:30 game when it was on CBS. I like to end that day with a big game, and then because you can enjoy all the rest of the games, right? If Alabama come around and lose that game or whatever, you're like, man, rest of the night you don't really want to watch football.
Yeah, I didn't watch much football after the Vandy game. I didn't watch much football after the Tennessee game. I just kind of like,
yeah. It's you kind of lose your mojo. But what about this craziness? Why is it that people were shouting when we were struggling? Why were people shouting for Lane Kiffin? I still don't get it. I want somebody to explain to me why you would want Lane Kiffin over Kalen DeBoer. Based on what?
Comfortability level, him having coached here. That was such a trend for so long, hiring people that had connections to the university before Coach Saban. And if you really look at it, the first time we tried to go away was Mike Price, and that never even lasted a game. But you go back to Coach Bryant, from Coach Bryant to Perkins, and then Curry didn't have a connection, I don't think, and that lasted 3 years. And Stallings and his connection with Bryant, then Dubose, and Franchione didn't have a connection.
Franchione was after Curry. After Dubose. So
after Dubose, and then Franchione, that was 2 years. Mike Price.
But what I guess though, X, I get that side of it. But help me understand. You're watching these two teams play. What is it about LSU? What is it about Ole Miss that would make you want him?
Oh, they'll hit you with that. Well, if he had the Alabama talent, some of the stuff he does would work. Yeah, it's that narrative and the comfortability level.
Supposed to have that team this year? Wasn't this supposed to be Ole Miss's year? Wasn't Alabama
just supposed to be their best team?
Huh?
This was supposed to be their best team.
Yeah, wasn't this supposed to be the team that had all the talent, that even though Alabama had stars, he had experience. He had all of these things. And, Ole Miss was supposed to be, and then, 4 games in, everybody was talking about how great they are, right?
Yeah.
But they had played Georgia Southern, Wake Forest, Middle Tennessee, and Furman, and everybody was talking about how great they are. Who have they beat? South Carolina?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
They lost to Kentucky and Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma. But
so is everybody.
Who else have they lost to? They lost another bad one, didn't they?
They lost to Kentucky and LSU.
LSU.
That's what I'm saying. And you look at the rest of the year, they have Arkansas, which could be a loss. Georgia lost.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know if Florida is legit or not. They seem to be playing better. And then Mississippi State. So, but like I said, I just don't get it. But anyway, he was supposed to be the dude this year, and look what he's done with the team. To me, right. I think the biggest thing, if Alabama fans really, really, really want to think about what is going on, and we're going to grade Alabama, we'll start the grading process on the other side, Xavier, is I want you all to think about something. I watch football. I caught myself just thinking back. I was watching Des Ricks, I think is his name, start at Texas A&M. Trey Amos starting at Ole Miss. I watched Ja'Cory Brooks catching passes for Louisville. I watched Trayshawn Holden at Oregon. I watched
Caleb Downs.
Huh?
Caleb Downs.
I watched Caleb Downs starting at Ohio State.
Seth McLaughlin.
Do what?
Seth McLaughlin.
Seth McLaughlin. I watched, I watched Aaron Anderson cutting up for LSU. I watched what's his name for Texas.
Isaiah Bond. The trader.
Yeah. And I'm thinking all of these guys would be the third and fourth year guys at Alabama. So who's taking their places? Talented guys.
Freshmen.
But freshmen. Or first year guys or sophomores. And I didn't name all of the guys that were starting. I'm just naming the guys that I personally saw Saturday. And I'm thinking all of those guys would be here starting and playing. Wow. I didn't have Seth in there, but I think we're better off without him. I don't know if we're better off with the other guys. I don't know. But we'll grade it on the other side. We'll start the grading process. I just wanted to get that Lane Kiffin thing out of the way before we get back from the other side. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9. We're powered by Box Eye Care.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, a very good morning to you and happy hump day, folks. We're looking at Cottondale trouble already this morning on 2059 eastbound at Tuscaloosa Coaling, Highway 11. Watch out for that bender, which is now on the left shoulder and absolutely no delays as a matter.
69 North and Northport, just before Carroll Creek Baptist Church. Sponsored by Cypress Supply, Military Surplus R Us, Junction Grocery, and Northwest Supply.
The Venue, your new favorite Tuscaloosa hangout. Food, music, and more. Come and taste what's new at The Venue, whether it's Liza's Sweet Shop, whether it's the all-day breakfast and burgers from Ramajamas, or the quality food that you can get at Finish Pub. Great atmosphere, great time, great people, great environment. That's The Venue. You can find
home smell good. I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Dixie Battery Supply takes care of all of your battery needs. Find the commercial batteries you're after and never feel powerless again. Come check out our Northport and Tuscaloosa locations or call us at 205-758-9190. And once again, power up all your devices by using Dixie Battery Supply, DixieBatterySupply.com. They offer reconditioning.
55 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code Radio55.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9, 1230 a.m. WTBC. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. And don't forget to make plans for Free For All Friday. The Pharmacy at Midtown brings us that. Go check out the Pharmacy at Midtown, the Pharmacy at Midtown. You can find them at pharmacyatmidtown.com. They'll take care of all of your pharmacy needs. TJ and his team are there waiting, willing, and ready to serve you. They're more than mamas and daddies pharmacy. Check them out online once again at pharmacyatmidtown.com. All right. Pat, you're in with Martin and Xavier on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin, you forgot Eli is Holstein still undefeated at Pitt. How ironic would it be if Pitt got one of those coveted spots in the playoffs and Bama didn't?
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, that wouldn't be that ironic.
Would people say he's playing? Go ahead.
What would be ironic about it?
Would people say that he's not playing in the SEC?
Yeah, he's not.
Correct. Man, that but
what do you think? What do you think? Do you think Pitt is any? And you have to remember, it's always about matchups. But I'm not sure Vanderbilt wouldn't be undefeated in the ACC.
Of course. Miami's down there still pretty good. But Miami, people don't understand about South Florida. That South Florida team played Miami real hard too the first half.
Yep. They
so,
left points on the field, and then Miami just outraced them. Just like Miami did the same thing we did. They
exactly
outlasted them.
Yeah, with just more depth was all, And but hey, as far as that grade goes, I think it's a good B plus. Because nobody, everybody, let's be honest, everybody at the beginning of the season had Alabama losing 2 games. Nobody had the guts to say which 2 games. I was the only one that picked Tennessee. I had the guts to pick Tennessee on the radio. And on both your show and on the Bearded Wonders show.
Did you pick that after the season started, or did you say we were going to lose to Tennessee at the beginning?
I thought we were going to lose to Tennessee at the beginning.
And what made you think that Alabama would lose to Tennessee after watching Tennessee play 3 weeks in a row?
Well, I got confidence in the coach up there at Tennessee.
Before Tennessee beat Alabama, they had 0 points. They barely beat Oklahoma off week, had 0 points against Arkansas in the first half, 0 points against Florida in the second half, and 0 points against Alabama in the first half. Did Tennessee beat Alabama? Did Alabama lose that game? And of course, it's a loss, but how much of that was just Alabama laid an absolute? To me, the Alabama game against Tennessee is far worse than the loss to Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah, that is true. But it was. I don't know if Jalen woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It was just his worst performance. He couldn't have gone any worse for him. And if we could have had just a little bit, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think happened to
him? Play calling.
Part of it wasn't. And I think play calling's been horrible.
Pat, how you can jump in here, please. Pat, how many passes did we throw against Missouri?
26.
Okay.
How many?
26.
In the game that we had the most throw before that, is Georgia the highest total X we had?
Yep, 33.
So somebody has to tell me, how did we get to 45 passes against Tennessee when we were leading most of the game and the quarterback was way off? How do you keep throwing the ball, Pat? Somebody tell me, was the running game not working against Tennessee?
It was decent.
Well, we came out the first drive of the second half and ran it down their throat and then punted it on a 4th and 1.
And then went back to throwing it.
So that's what I think. Pat, like I said, we led most of the game against Tennessee. But to your point, everybody thought the people who were realistic and not crimson-colored glasses like me would have been fair to this team to say this team will end up 10-2. But if you had told me 10-2 would include a win at Georgia, I would have said, well, no, give me 11-1 or 12-0, because it appears that Georgia still is going to be the toast of the college football world at the end.
Unless we play them in the SEC championship, we'll beat them in this. We'll beat them again.
Well, the only time Kirby has managed to beat Alabama was when he got them the second time.
Yeah. Well, hey, you guys have a blessed day. We got to get ready for LSU, though. And the reason that's a night game is LSU's going to need all day long to get drunk so they can handle the loss we're going to give them.
You might want to put really in front of it, Pat. They'll be drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning. They'll be really drunk by kickoff. All right, have
a great one.
All right. Quentin Perry's Xavier, we want to start the great contest. He said, conversation. Quentin Perry said, I think in play calling was trying to do too much. I think the better OC went to Washington and our offensive line coach went somewhere else. I think that made a big difference. Yeah.
I can see how Quentin comes to that conclusion because Nick Sheridan was hired to be the tight end coach and Ryan Grubb was originally going to be the OC. There's a reason why going into 2023, Saban was trying to get Ryan Grubb. So I do think that plays a part into it. And of course, Huff going with them. Now, the question is, I wonder if they're questioning if they made a mistake because the Seahawks ain't doing too high right now.
Well, I think these coaches didn't. I was watching the other day. I was looking at how young the NFL coaches are getting, and I'm not sure if they're getting younger, Chase, or I'm just getting older. I'm not sure which one it is. There's
several that aren't that much older than me, so.
Yeah. So it's kind of, the question becomes, how many more coaches are you going to see, lead a college game? And to me, that's going to be the question. Will, Saban put a lot of guys out of coaching. Like, there's a lot of guys who lost jobs because Saban, because they couldn't get over the hump. Is Kirby going to be that guy? Because you have to think Kirby right now, I think, sits at 90-6 against college football. I think it's 90-6. Let me see. Let me figure it out. Make sure I'm right. 1, 2, 3. Make that 91-6 against the rest of college football. You know what he is against Alabama?
1-5, 1-6.
1-6. So he has lost to Alabama as much as he's lost to the rest of the field. If that continues, the only reason Kirby doesn't have 5 championships in a row is Alabama.
Yeah.
That's it. Nobody else is beaten. And I don't know if that changes this year or not, X. It'd be interesting. You got any thoughts before we get ready to get out of here? We got the Hardest Church Christian Moment of the Week that we're going to get to. But you got anything before I let you go?
I think as we get into the grades, you'll start to see how this team really is shaping out. And we'll look at some things and talk about them tomorrow and Friday of what this team can do to improve coming out of this last bye with, everything still really outside of an SEC championship ahead of them.
There's just, yeah. Chuck Hunt asked an interesting question. I'll let you noodle on. Do we see Coach Saban coming out of retirement to coach West Virginia? We'll see. I think that's a big rumor, but who knows today? Who knows? But we'll keep the Alabama conversation going. We'll pick back up tomorrow. We'll add recruiting to the conversation. When we come back on the other side, we'll have Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries, in for the Harvest Church Christian Moment of the Week.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Still dealing with the clearing stages of this accident on 2059 eastbound at Tuscaloosa Coley. That's Highway 11. And so everything is on the left shoulder. All those main lanes, however, are unbothered. And speaking of unbothered territory, well,
high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974. Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
Houston Hydrosteam. That's Houston Hydrosteam. Quality work you can stand on. Whether you're looking for carpet and upholstery cleaning, oriental rug cleaning, residential or commercial water damage, and a whole lot more, you need to call Houston Hydrosteam at 205-553-9460.
To me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea.
Information about great jobs across the state, as well as specific positions here at Town Square Media. And you'll be able to apply online at broadcastersvirtualjobfair.com.
Visit the pharmacy at Midtown. That's the pharmacy at midtown.com. TJ and his team are looking for the opportunity to provide you with great services, including compounding, home delivery, and a whole lot more. You're looking for a great pharmacy that'll take care of all of your needs, including wellness classes, including health, and more. That's the pharmacy at Midtown. Call them at 205-579-9933. You're looking for a great pharmacy. You need to try the pharmacy at Midtown. That's the pharmacy at Midtown, pharmacy at midtown.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. It's now time for the Harvest Church 2-minute warning, as we will add Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries, to the conversation. He can encourage us how to incorporate our faith into the boardroom, the classroom, or God's chosen field of play for us. Take it away, Scotty.
Thank you so much. Hey, I want to continue in our series, Fundamentals That Build a Firm Foundation. Actually, we've been looking at one specific fundamental that builds a firm foundation in our lives spiritually. Here, we've been looking at that one for the last 6-7 weeks, and that's been spending time in God's Word. Hopefully, you guys understand how important that is and understand at least how important I view that to be in terms of truly building a firm foundation in our lives. And the key here is consistency, just spending time in His Word consistently. If it's only 5 minutes a day, hey, do 5 minutes a day, but do it daily, consistently. So today I want to move to a different fundamental and just kind of introduce this one. It's going to be this fundamental is fellowship. This is the fundamental of fellowship will build a firm foundation in your life. And our key verse for this one is Hebrews 10:24-25, and it says, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as we see the day approaching." So he's saying, hey, as believers, as we're looking to build this firm foundation, we need to be connecting with others on a consistent basis. It says, let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds. So it's not just connecting with each other, but it's being intentional with our time around each other. So, you think about that in a team dynamic. Guess what? If it's a team dynamic, you need each other. You can't accomplish anything without your teammates. And of course, you know what the whole team acrostic means. Together, everyone achieves more, right? And so when we're talking about fellowship, we're talking about the fact that we need each other. You know what? Let me encourage you with this. If you haven't found a church home, I think that's really important. From a spiritual standpoint, if you want to understand the fundamentals that build a firm foundation in your life, you got to find a church home. Martin, as a pastor, and I've been to his church several times, and oh goodness, they really I just praise the Lord. They preach the word. It is a special group of people there. So if you're looking for a church home, Martin, you can give a shout out for your church a little bit later in terms of where it is. But I would encourage you, find a church home. Hey, once you get into the church, find a church home, find a group of people within that church that you can connect with. That will be so you look at finding a church, that's like finding a team, and finding a group of people, that's like the position that you play. If you're a running back, you're going to be in a running back room. If you're a receiver, you're going to be in the receiver room with all those specific players. Well, when we're talking about fellowship, I want to encourage you not only find a church, but to find a small group that you can connect with. Those are the people you'll be closest to. Listen to this, and then I'm gonna let Martin jump in because I know he's ready to throw a little bit in here as well. It says, and let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds. And it says, and not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing. Martin, I feel like he was talking to somebody when he said that. I feel like when he said, let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, he was looking like, hey, I know, I heard about some of y'all. Y'all been kind of not getting together. And so let's take that as if we're not getting together. He's saying, you need us, we need you. And so let's look at fellowship as a fundamental that will help build a firm foundation in our life.
Yeah, that is so good. To me, fellowship is so important. But the fact that we are living in a time where so many people aren't fellowshipping together shows that we have become consumers in the church, much like we consume in the world. We think church is about what we get versus what we give. And what do we call people? Christ said the body of Christ or the team of Christ. Right? That's what he meant by. Yeah. And so absolutely. What would we say? What do we call players who only worry about what they get from it versus what they give? Selfish. Right? And so we'll camp out on this a little bit, but I think your team analysis, what we think about a player who didn't study the playbook, didn't come to practice consistently, and didn't show up for the game, or messed up in the game because they didn't come to practice and didn't know the playbook. I mean, you nailed it. That's where we need to be. Fellowship is so important, and it is absolutely one of the foundational principles. But the enemy is winning that battle in a lot of people's lives. So today, if you're one of those, jump back in, man. Get back in the game. Start reading your playbook and start coming to practice, and then you'll be better equipped to play the game. We'll talk about that more. Scotty, tell them where they can find you.
Yep, you can go to www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. Send me a message there. It comes straight to my email.
All right. Hey, we'd love to have you at Harvest Church, 10 a.m. Out in Coker on Highway 82 going toward Gordo, right there on the right, big blue sign, 10 a.m. worship, 9 a.m. Sunday school. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, and not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide out there, everybody.